Hello, and welcome to the second day of the week, Evan. How are you guys? Welcome to the show. Hope everything is going well. And yeah, let's start with this second day of the week, Evan. Let's introduce our first speaker. They are revolutionizing the world of psychology and science. Welcome to the States. Leo, how are you? Welcome to the
Hello,
States.
hello guys. Can you hear me, Adrian?
Yeah, perfect.
Nice,
We can
nice,
hear you
nice.
perfect.
I'm fine. How about you? Are fine? I wish you are fine.
Yeah. We are here starting with the week, Evan. You are the first speaker, so welcome to the States. If you want, you can start sharing your screen or
No, no, I don't want to share screen
perfect,
because I
perfect,
like to
perfect,
talk actually. Okay.
perfect.
Uh,
So I'm going to leave the stage, so the stage is totally yours. You can explain about us NeuroLanche and what you're building, and see you soon. Yeah.
okay, sure. Firstly, I want to introduce myself. Uh, Hello guys, I am Leo. I am 24 years old. I am young developer, also young scientist. Actually, I'm co-founder of NeuroLanche and CEO of NeuroLanche X Labs, and also I am Polkadot and Astar Network ambassador. Okay, well, you can ask me what you are doing in NeuroLanche X Labs. Actually, we need to start first to talk about NeuroLanche X Labs history. If you wish, Andrian, I will talk, or do you wanna ask any questions?
No, you just have to talk, and yeah, you can talk for sure.
Okay, sure.
Perfect.
We created Neurology X Labs 2 years ago for the researchment for the Alzheimer and artificial intelligence because we saw we have a problem in Alzheimer patients. We don't have any solution for the health sector with Alzheimer patients. Then we started to make researchment about Alzheimer on AI departments. We created neurologic apps for it exactly. But how our blockchain working started, we should definitely focus it. We saw a pandemic process 2-3 years ago. It was COVID-19, and also our health and education sector stopped. We didn't reach enough health sector. We didn't get enough lessons. Education sector was stopped. And I was a student at the psychology department when it was processing. For example, when I want to join my lessons, we were using the Web2 applications like Google Meet, Zoom. I actually like that applications, and also we didn't get enough integration in these applications, and I saw a problem here. Yeah, if we have a under pandemic process, our health and education sector won't stop. It will die. Because you saw we had a lot of problem with these applications, with the sectors, and I said myself, why we are not creating any place for this sector? Then I started to make researchment at the psychology department. How can we create any application for the humanity to give them the integration for the health and education sector? I searched education sector with the psychology science. How can we make more integration with this sector? And I searched with this for the health sector too. And we had a metaverse trend in 2 or 3 years ago. And most of project created a metaverse project, and they just created actually game free project. They said themselves we are creating metaverse, but they just created a game project. And I saw a problem here too. If you want to create a metaverse project, you should definitely add a benefit for the humanity. For example, if you are creating a game, just a small game, it is not a metaverse project. Then I started to work with my friends to make research on how can we create a real metaverse, because we need to give people the reality. Then our processing started like that. We make research 8 months around how can we create a real metaverse, and we saw if we are creating a metaverse, we should definitely create this metaverse at VR glasses, because VR glasses giving the people a reality, and also opportunity. For example, we are still in the beginning of the VR glasses technology. Yeah, most of people maybe haven't any VR glasses. For example, Adrian, I think you don't have to, but it doesn't matter. We know in the near future, most of people get a VR glasses and their uh, technological stuff like a VR, because Nokia was a phone company, but they didn't focus it smartphones, and they lose it. But we don't and lose. Then we started to create our metaverse at the VR glasses. Our VR way started like that. Then yeah, we were creating a metaverse for the health sector and education sector. But how can it is possible? For example, if you want to create any biological labs in real life, you should spend a lot of money. But we are trying to add these biological labs at our VR metaverse. For example, if you want any make experiment, its solution can be changed, and we are adding our API with the smart contracts on our VR metaverse. For example, weather can change the experimental answer. We are adding real weather at our metaverse too. For example, uh, hot can change the experimental solution, experimental answer. We are adding it too. And also, when we are adding these ones, like a biological labs, also we are creating a classroom for the lessons. For example, you want to use microscope, you can use it on our metaverse too. We are making our stuff like that. And you know uh yeah, we are creating this way for the health and education sector. I said, my friend, yeah, we are creating any metaverse for the health and education sector, but why we are not creating any metaverse for the NFT collection in Polkadot ecosystem? Because Ethereum, Solana, Avalanche, and other ecosystem has an NFT culture in their ecosystems, but in Polkadot ecosystem, we didn't have enough NFT culture. For example, you can look the Astar network. We have just 2-3 NFT collection, active NFT collection in Astar network. For example, one is Astar Regions, but they are DAO, and one is NEUROLANCHE. We are a small community, but we have a lot of activity because we are not focusing on the NFT collection side. And Astar Sandwich, Astar Cats, maybe. We should definitely create something for the Astar network to give this ecosystem and culture. Why? We are still in the first Polkadot parachain in Polkadot. Astar network is the first parachain. I can say it, the biggest parachain. But maybe next year it can't be. We want to support Astar network to every time will be best. How can we make it? How can we make it possible? If we can create a society with sociological science and psychological science, active society, we can success it. Then I said, my friend, we should definitely create an NFT culture, because NFT give the communities a sociological activity. Then we started to create an open world in our metaverse for this NFT collection. For example, we are integrating Astar Dagans, Astar Savage, Astar Cats, Haltery, like that NFT collection in our metaverse for the VR glasses side. Then it has a lot of systems, like job systems and Ender systems too. We make a lot of research about it, and we wrote 40-page white paper like about it. How can we create a real society in Astar network? Then we are currently building it, and this week, last week, I said my friend again. I always said my friend, and they are saying me, you have a lot of job, you have a lot of idea, but we have one idea too, one step. And I said my friend, yeah, we are creating a VR glasses metaverse for health and education sector, also NFT culture, but we should definitely create an for the right now technological stuff too. And we are started to create a FPS game for this ecosystem. For example, we gonna create this FPS game on the browsers, and if you want to use this FPS game, you can connect with your mobile phones, also your computer too. But why we are creating this FPS game? It is easy questions. Because we are creating this FPS game for the integrate all Astar projects, not only NFT collections. For example, we can integrate Astar Legends and Ender NFT collections easy, but we want to integrate Ender DeFi project or another project too. For example, we have ArtSwap, Algem, and like that project in Astar. We want to integrate this ArtSwap and Algem like that DeFi project to our FPS game. We're gonna create a soulbound NFTs, then we gonna give them their community to access to this FPS game. Then we can make a more activity in this ecosystem. We're gonna integrate the staking rewards on this FPS game. For example, if you're a player, you're gonna be maybe in top 10, you're gonna get a Astar token with this competition, with this game, on this game. And if you have a soulbound NFT, if you are invited from us, if you have any community, when you be winner, you get a %50 Astar token. Then you're gonna pay tax for the NeuroLancher NFT holders too. We taught NeuroLancher NFT holders too. Yeah, I am currently creating this light paper. I am writing this light paper and white paper this week, and I think I'm gonna finish at the Friday, and I will make a presentation for the community. But you can ask me, is it important? Yeah, it is important, because we need to definitely create a society in Astar network. Actually, if you're asking what is NeuroLanche, NeuroLanche has a lot of job, a lot of project, but NeuroLanche main role is the support the Astar ecosystem, because we are working for the Astar. And also, I said we're gonna create a FPS game, we're gonna integrate under project too. But we are not only focusing the projects. I have a lot of community in Turkey. It has a lot of members. They are so crowded. And we want to integrate the Turkish communities to our FPS game and our Astar ecosystems too. Then we can make a lot of activity in Astar network like that. Actually, we are working on it, a lot of things. Okay, I talked with FPS game, I talked with VR universe, but we didn't talk about any Alzheimer and AI solutions about it. I am moving Italy this month. Actually, next month, 20 days later, and I will make a research at Pavia University for the Alzheimer and AI on blockchain. In knowledge, we are not just focusing the metaverse and another projects too. We are focusing also health sector. Actually, knowledge created for it. But if we are if we are making any research about it, we should definitely have a community too. We work on metaverse and game sites for it. If you can create any community, you can be successful. Also, we launched first WebAssembly NFT collection last month, maybe 2 months ago. I'm not sure. to 31 May, and it's still around the floor price 200 to 2,500 maybe. We didn't make any shilling for our NFT collections, but we are creating our own project on these NFT collections, because if you are supporting us early, you should be with us, and we should definitely make something for you too. And I talked with AI. I talked about the metaverse and also a game project about us, but we didn't talk about our AI applications. Actually, we are building our AI application so silence, because I don't want to give any information for the another project about it. It can be change a lot of things on NFT sites. But if I need to say, you will see, you can talk everything with your NFT, NEUROLANCHE NFT. It's like a software robot, software robot. Yeah, it won't be in real life, but when you want to connect with your phone and when you want to talk with your NEUROLANCHE NFTs, you can talk everything. We are adding a lot of things on this NEUROLANCHE NFTs. You will see soon, I can say it. And if we need to talk about our roadmap, because we have a lot of job, I need to say we're gonna finish our FPS game in 2-3 weeks, and you can play everything in this game in 2-3 weeks with NEUROLANCHE NFTs. Then we're gonna integrate a lot of projects too. But first we will integrate the NEUROLANCHE NFTs, and also if you wish, we can launch our metaverse pre-alpha tomorrow too. But Ahmed still working about it to more integrate a lot of things.
So, Leo, thank you so much for your explanation. We are running out of time. We have to go with ZEITGEIST. So, thank you so
Okay.
much, Leo. That was amazing. I'm super bullish with NEUROLANCHE ecosystem. If you want to say something to close the interview, you can say it, Leo.
Okay, sure. We have a dApp staking program in Astar network, and we are still in 6 million around Astar token in our dApp staking program. We are giving person 25 for the dApp stakers, and also we are giving the person 30 for the NEUROLANCHE NFT holders. And it is still in the Astar ecosystem the biggest NFT rewards for the per month fee. For example, another NFT holders and another NFT projects holders get maybe monthly 30 Astar, but in our dApp staking program, 45 around, more than person 50. And I need to say, I am trying to make a lot of integration for the Astar ecosystem. We are just focusing to create community in Astar network. I can say like that. I need to say just it.
Perfect. So,
But
thank
we
you
are
so
working
much.
a lot of
Yeah. So, thank you so much for being with us today, Leo. It was amazing, and
Thank
thank
you.
you so much. So, that was great. And now we are going to jump to the next interview of the day. We are going to jump with ZEITGEIST. How are you, James? Welcome to the States. Hope you can listen me. Hello, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Hello. Nice to meet you. And nice to have ZEITGEIST with us today. So now you can start sharing your screen if you want, and our team will set up here in the main screen. Welcome. Perfect. So it's
All right. So everyone, so you're ready to go, Adrian?
you have the screen shared, James. Oh,
Yeah, I can share a screen. I can share something a little bit later. I won't do it right this moment.
okay,
Do you
perfect. So
Yeah.
perfect. So I'm going to disappear. The state is totally yours.
Cool.
It's a pleasure to have ZEITGEIST with us.
Great. Well, thanks so much, Adrian. Thank you. Hey, everyone. What's up? My name is James. I am marketing and communications lead at ZEITGEIST. For those of you that don't know us, ZEITGEIST is a parachain on Polkadot, and we are a prediction markets protocol. So we have designed a protocol built specifically for prediction markets and around prediction markets. And specifically, we've produced an application where prediction markets are available for people to create predictions on, to bet on, and also in this application, you can actually create your own prediction market. So I'm going to run you through what all that means. Maybe you've never heard of prediction markets. What on earth is a prediction market? We'll go through everything and make sure that you are fully able to comprehend exactly what this is about. So let's have a look and go through. I've got a bit of a short presentation, so I'll go through that. I know that a couple of you might have questions, and I'm going to run you through some basic points and some quotes from some various people about prediction markets. So let me share my screen real quick. Also, just Adrian, if you could let me know when I run out of time. I actually can't remember offhand if I was finishing at 15:45 or 15:35. So just let me know.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. We are here for sure. Okay.
Great. Thanks so much, man. Okay, so let's get going here. Here we go. Okay, so first of all, prediction markets are about forecasting data, right? With prediction markets, you can actually get some really, really interesting data about what the future is going to look like. And that's what our founders built the whole protocol around. And that's what they're so interested in. Prediction markets produce data that is often more accurate than polling. A standard poll, can sometimes predict who's going to win an election, who's going to win a certain business outcome or a business deal, etc. And we know from the 2016 USA elections, the polling data was pretty inaccurate. A lot of people just assumed that Hillary Clinton and the Democrats would win, and it took the world by surprise when Donald Trump actually won the White House and the Republicans won that vote. And that was a weakness in polling revealed. And prediction markets actually produces more accurate data than polling because you have to put your money where your mouth is. And I'll explain what I mean by that. So basically, at their core, they're using the dynamics of market economics and human incentivization to create accurate forecasts. So it allows you to bet on a specific scenario without the need for a bookmaker, for instance. Obviously, a bookmaker predetermines odds. So, for instance, let's take the Manchester City and Arsenal football match coming up, the Community Shield. It's the opening match of the English professional season for 2023-2024. And that match would have a whole bunch of odds that have been predetermined by bookmakers. They have statistically determined a whole bunch of different outcomes, and they have predetermined the odds. And then those odds are available on various betting applications. But a prediction market allows for an accurate understanding of what the outcome is going to be without those bookmakers. We simply use market dynamics, and I'll explain what I mean by that. First, I'm going to run you through a couple of quotes here. Firstly, the one of the fathers of prediction markets is a professor, an economics professor by the name of Professor Robin Hanson. He's the associate professor for economics at George Mason University. And he actually said that prediction markets are even more powerful than machine learning. Now, obviously, everyone's talking about machine learning right now because of what we've seen with AGI and OpenAI and ChatGPT, etc. of late. But Professor Robin Hanson actually said that machine learning is too easily corrupted. Prediction markets are even more powerful than machine learning. Vitalik, of course, the man behind Ethereum, or one of the men behind Ethereum. We know, of course, that Gavin Wood was very intricately involved in Ethereum. But Vitalik said this. He said that honestly, prediction markets may be one of the most underrated categories of Ethereum dApps right now. Omen and Augur V2 are both running and have active markets with pretty decent liquidity. Go ahead and try them. And that was many, many years ago. So Vitalik has a soft spot for prediction markets. He's actually written a lot about prediction markets, and he's worked with Professor Robin Hanson of George Mason University. So these are tools. These are markets which a lot of very, very intelligent people have a lot of interest in. And of course, our founders had the same interest, and they went and built their own application on the Polkadot tech stack. The reason they chose Polkadot is purely because it's a lot more efficient, a lot more affordable, and just as secure, if not more secure, than Ethereum. Actually, all three of our founders were involved in the Ethereum ecosystem before they joined and founded ZEITGEIST together. So that's a bit of history for you. So let's just give you an idea of our application and an idea about prediction markets. So this is our current application right now, app.zeitgeist.pm. And you can see our three trending markets right now are: will Musk and Zuckerberg announce a date for a cage fight? So we've created this market, and people have come and bet on whether they will. And you can see there the outcome is predicted to be no, because yes is at 25%. So that means the no outcome is at 75%. So the most likely outcome there is no. Will England win the Ashes? Now we have a sports market. Will England win the Cricket Ashes 2023? The most likely outcome is no, by 92%. Another one is, will a Bitcoin ETF be approved in 2023? Most likely outcome is yes. So that's interesting, 71%. So, and then we had a very interesting market a couple of months ago. Who would win the UEFA Champions League in 2022-2023? And out of the 10 outcomes, the most likely scenario for most of that prediction market, it was open for a good couple of months. Obviously, the Champions League final was held in May, and this market was open since December last year. And that just goes to show that for that entire duration, the most likely outcome being Manchester City proved accurate. You can see when I actually took this specific screenshot, Manchester City were the favorites with a 23% chance of winning the Champions League, and indeed they did win the Champions League. So, but how do they work? What goes into a prediction market? So the reason I've landed on this page to explain it for you is because I want to show you, right? So we create a question, or whoever creates the question, anyone can actually create a prediction market on our app. We as a team are creating most of the markets at the moment because liquidity needs to be deployed, and liquidity providers often do take quite a hit when they deploy liquidity. So because of that reason, a lot of people aren't willing to create a market and deploy liquidity. So we're doing it for you. We're creating the markets for you. But if you want to deploy some liquidity to a market and create your own market, you're welcome to do that. But we create a lot of the markets, and anyone can. So when I say we, it'll literally be one of our team members using an account that goes on and creates a market, deploys liquidity to it. Now, we create a market, we create a question. That question could have a whole bunch of different outcomes. And in this specific outcome, we had 10 options. You can see there 10 outcomes. So it was the likes of Manchester City, Paris Saint-Germain, PSG, Liverpool, Real Madrid, etc., etc. And then we would have had other, because obviously there were more than just 10 teams in the Champions League. So we had 9 teams and the final outcome being other. So each 10 outcomes were an asset. In essence, the easiest way for you to understand this is that we are like a decentralized exchange in many ways, and we create a market, and each outcome is an asset, and you can buy and sell those assets. And the more people buy a specific outcome, the more the price of that asset goes up within that market. And as that price goes up, you start to see, oh, that's going to be the most likely outcome. So that's what Professor Robin Hanson was talking about earlier in the quote that I shared with you. He was talking about that very thing. It's market dynamics where people start to see, hey, that is actually the most likely outcome. I'm going to buy some of that asset, and they increase the price, thereby the other assets lower in price, and you start to see what the outcome is going to be. And people's incentives, that natural human nature for incentive, starts to play a serious part in exactly how the market is going to play out. And so you have these 10 outcomes. People buy and sell these outcomes for the duration of the market. The creator of the market will set an end date. When that market ends, all trading stops. You can no longer trade on that market. There'll be a short dispute period. An oracle will report which was the correct outcome. There'll be a very short period for that outcome to be disputed. If someone believes that, no, the oracle has reported incorrectly, someone can dispute that outcome. So there's a short dispute period. And once the final dispute has been confirmed, or the dispute period has passed and no one has disputed the outcome, then all the people that bought the asset that was the correct outcome would be able to exchange that asset for more of the original token that the market was denominated in. And the reason why I say the original token is we currently have trading in DOT. You can trade in DOT, or you can trade in our utility token ZTG. So if I go one back, these two markets here, the Bitcoin ETF and the cricket markets, those are in ZTG. You can actually see the token up top right. And then this one here, Musk and Zuckerberg announcing a date for a cage fight, is in DOT. So if you made a prediction in DOT on a DOT market, right, you bought the asset, you would then get DOT in return. And here's how it works. So let's come back to this Champions League market. Let's say, so let's have a look at prices here. If I can see that on that one. No. So let's say, for instance, this Manchester City outcome asset is 23%. That would be 23 cents, or 0.23. It'll either be 0.23 ZTG or 23 cents, depending on the structure of the market. We have USDT coming, so it could be 23 cents, but let's say it's 0.23 ZTG. So you come along, you have a whole bunch of ZTG, which is available on Hydra DX, by the way, and also gate.io if you want to get your hands on ZTG. So you come along, you have 100 ZTG, and you think Manchester City are going to win the Champions League. You buy 100 Manchester City at 0.23 ZTG. That's going to cost you 20.3 ZTG. So you've bought 100. Let's say you've bought 100 of these assets, and it's cost you 20.3 ZTG. Now Manchester City do end up winning. What happens is every single one of the winning asset gets redeemed for 1 ZTG in that specific market. If it was in DOT, it would get redeemed for DOT. I hope that makes sense. So in this specific market, it was denominated in ZTG. So the winnings are distributed in ZTG. So we spent 20.3 ZTG to get 100 Manchester City assets. This market has indeed ended as Manchester City being the winning outcome. You hit redeem, your 20.3 ZTG or 20.3 Manchester City assets are now converted into 100 ZTG. You came and you spent 20.3 ZTG. At the end of the market, you've ended up with 100 ZTG. That's how prediction markets work. Everyone else gets zero. They've lost their ZTG. So it's a zero-sum game. It's classic market dynamics. And that's why prediction markets are so powerful, because when people are making predictions with that human incentive, knowing that, oh, I don't know if I want to spend that much money on this outcome, all of a sudden we start to see real predictions being made, and we start to see real forecasts, which is why things like England winning the Ashes, the Musk and Zuckerberg cage fight, BTC ETF, we can actually start to see some real forecasting data here, because these markets are actually being driven by real human incentive. And that's what's so great about prediction markets. There's 3 primary types of prediction markets. For those that don't know, there's a binary market, which in essence is kind of what this market is basically just a whole bunch of different outcomes. Then there's a scalar market, which is great because you can actually predict a specific range of something. Like, for instance, we have a market for what is the combined market cap of KSM and DOT going to be at the end of 2023. People can long and short, that falls within a range, and we can actually see within that range, we can set the parameters of the range within that scale, and people can see, oh, the outcome looks like it's going to be about 1.1 billion US dollars. And so that's why scalar markets are really cool. And then you also get combinatorial markets, which combines a whole bunch of different types of markets into one market, which gets extremely complicated if you're new to prediction markets. Now, this is the fun part that I love to share with people. We are really excited about making prediction markets fun. We want to incentivize people to take part in prediction markets and to be part of our ecosystem. So what we did was, being an on-chain application, we have created NFT profile pictures. So this here is actually a screenshot of a real profile picture within our application. You can see here, this was the homepage a couple of months ago. Don't worry about the market. I mean, that's just what was on at the time. It was an EVM on Remark market, but you can see top right over there, there is my profile picture. I actually had a little blue avatar, right? So you can mint a blue avatar for a couple of ZTG. But now what we did was, if people traded a certain amount, they would be able to get rewarded with equipable NFTs. Now, obviously, with equipable NFTs and the new technology that is made available, we're using Remark and Singular's platform. So using their technology, we were able to create equipable NFTs for how much you traded and how successful you were. So if you traded a certain amount of ZTG, you'd be able to win another little reward, and it could be a mouthpiece like this one over here. It could be a little necklace like that one there. And you can see, if I go across in your Singular Remark profile, you can see the various NFTs that have been rewarded to you. We actually had a Christmas campaign over Christmas time, where for a certain amount of trading, you would get a Christmas hat and a Christmas beard and all those kind of things. And then you would be able to equip them within our app. You'd be able to equip them onto your profile picture within the application, which is so great. And if you look at our leaderboard, you can actually see who's been trading the most, and they each little wallet, each user identified by their ZTG wallet address has a profile picture next to it. Some people have minted a blue profile picture, some haven't bothered, but you can see some people have minted a profile picture and accepted different equipable NFTs onto that profile picture. I think I'm out of time for this, but obviously a lot of talk about OpenGov right now, but we are experimenting with governance based on prediction markets. That's called Futarchy. Futarchy is revolutionary and is an incredible way to really get the best possible outcome for a decision. And I know I'm pushed for time, and you may have questions, so I may not get through all of this, so I might just run through it. Robin Hanson was talking back in 2022. He said, recent events remind me of plausible theory that we must pay horrific price to have periodic big disasters to get us to take seriously the possibility of less frequent, bigger disasters. Maybe with Futarchy, this wouldn't be needed, but it seems it is with our actual institutions. He's basically talking about currently democracy isn't necessarily working the way we wanted to. Maybe with Futarchy, we would get better results. Vitalik again said something similar. He said, think of coin Futarchy as a kind of voting through action. I'm willing to increase my degree of membership in this community if X happens. And so we want to experiment with this, and we will be rolling out governance on our own protocol via prediction markets known as Futarchy, and using our SDK and our entire application. Anyone can actually run governance based on prediction markets themselves. I'm not going to run through how it works. If you want to go through it, I'll point you to some videos. I'm going to leave it there. We're running out of time. But yeah, thanks so much for listening, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope this has made sense. Prediction markets produce extraordinary forecasting data. The incentivized herd almost always wins. If you go through all of our markets, we're at something like 92% accuracy in terms of the amount of predictions we forecast accurately. And that's the power of the incentivized herd. The incentivized market is always going to drift towards the most likely outcome. That's the power of prediction markets. Right, I'm going to stop sharing there. If anyone has a question, then I would absolutely love to take it. I hope that's been helpful. I hope I'm within time, Adrian.
Yeah, that's perfect. That was amazing. I learned a lot of prediction market with you, James. We have a little question. It's where do you see ZEITGEIST in 1 or 2 years, James? It's a question for you.
Okay, so 1 or 2 years. Firstly, let's go 1 year. In 1 year, I think we're going to be competing with Poly Markets, the prediction market platform on Polygon. They are arguably one of the leaders in prediction markets. I think we're going to be competing with them. That's our first goal. In 2 years, I think it's very possible ZEITGEIST will be the leading prediction markets, the leading Web3 prediction market application in the world. I think that's very possible. That's our goal. And I think 2 years, it's very possible to do that. Maybe we don't hit that in 2 years. Maybe it takes 3 years. But in 2 years, that's where we want to be. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, that's perfect. So thank you so much, James, and to all ZEITGEIST teams to be with us today. We hope you like the event. And now we are running out of time. So goodbye, James. It was a pleasure to have you with us today. And yeah, goodbye, and see you soon.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Adrian. Thanks so much to everyone at the week. And we love being part of it. All the best. Cheers.
Cheers. So now we are going to jump into another amazing ecosystem in the Volkart and KUSAMA world. We're going to jump into AVENTUS. Hello, Alan. How are you? Welcome to the stage. Hope you can listen me. Perfect.
Hey, Adrian. Yeah, all good, man. Good to be here. Thanks for having me.
For sure. It's a pleasure to have AVENTUS with us today in the week event. So now that the set is totally yours, you can start sharing your screen and our team will set up here. And welcome to the week event.
Lovely. Sure. Sounds good. Can you see that?
Yeah, there we go. Perfect. So now I'm going to disappear. So the stage is totally yours. Thank you.
Thanks, Adrian. Hello, everybody. I'm here today to talk a little bit more about what we're doing at AVENTUS, which is all about onboarding enterprises to Web3. So I know you're probably quite an educated community. This is really, some of these slides are for our enterprise audience, but we always focus on high level, what are the use cases and what is the high level technology. We try to stay out of the weeds or any of the details around the technology and really keep it at this kind of level. So quite simply, Web3, as most of you probably know, is beyond Web2's read and write with all the user-generated and dynamic content. We have the ability to own. And it's this ownership through which interesting economic incentives can emerge and how you can start playing with the incentives of the participants in your ecosystem. So anything from the kind of loyalty use cases that we have to more supply chain and logistics-focused ones. One point that I really like to make around the rollout of the blockchain market anyway, to really motivate why now the enterprise market should get involved, is if you map the adoption of internet users against the crypto users, which you can see kind of in the bottom right here, these numbers are tracking almost exactly the same. This is an exponential scale, so exponentially being adopted, but at a very similar rate. And right now, we are kind of in the phase of around the dot-com bubble and dot-com bubble burst, which is interesting correlation to the kind of market conditions in crypto right now, right? We have this crypto winter, we had a bit of a global economic sort of slowdown. And if you look at a few other characteristics of the internet at that time, it was lacking regulation, consumer protections weren't in place. And immediately after those happened is when real mainstream everyday usage of the technology happened, and it even started blurring a bit more into the background for people. So we believe that right now is the time where various parties are positioning themselves to be the Microsofts or the Amazons or the Googles or whatnot of the crypto space. There is a lot of opportunity, despite times being tough, for doing deals and kind of setting up that position. So beyond that, there are obviously all of the big consultants, the BCGs, the Gartners, everybody in the last, I'd say, 18 months has really kind of started pumping out the educational content. The market has significantly evolved from what we saw before. So this slide is kind of demonstrating the various different logos across different segments that are already involved. The deal structures have also been evolving, where we saw in many of the early years. I've been doing this since 2016. So in the early years up to the 2020s, really blockchain was used more as a marketing tool, right? It was a sexy new phrase. Maybe people got involved in the kind of fundraising side of things, the crypto side of things to raise money, or otherwise big companies were getting involved merely as we've adopted this new technology, let's do a proof of concept, something in the innovation lab, and then not really roll anything over into a multi-year deal. That mentality has fundamentally shifted over the last 18 months, where businesses have actually figured out at least a little bit more clearly where this technology applies and where it doesn't apply, and how to actually generate additional revenue or operational efficiency gains. So we're seeing real multi-year commercial deals being done, leveraging this technology and actually driving proper consumer value out of it. Now, an important element in every single conversation that we go into anyway, because of the up and down sort of press cycle we've seen in the crypto space, because in America, especially with the SEC and their approach to the technology, it's very important to separate blockchain and the various fundamental enabling technologies from the use cases like crypto. So that is always front and center. There are so many compliant, value-adding use cases that exist today which use tokenization, but not in the form of cryptocurrencies or anything that is in that category where you have the regulatory uncertainty. So number one is always fleshing out with the business. Don't worry about crypto. One of the big problems is these enterprises can't even take crypto on their balance sheets in the way it is today, right? Because of the regulatory setting of cryptocurrencies. We work with Vodafone, for example. They cannot take any tokens and put them on their balance sheet. So you have to find creative structures of running managed services or proxy agreements to essentially allow them to leverage the technology without having to touch some of the more controversial use cases of the technology. Now, of course, as regulation sets in, that'll really help this element boom, but there are a lot of workarounds, and I know even companies like Deloitte are looking at advice and structuring on how they can help clients get to using the technology and not worrying about the use case. Now, one of the most important points, again, I like to make the analogy back to the kind of world, the internet rollout, where we saw intranets first start gaining traction, right? Whether it was military networks or academic networks, these siloed pockets of value is where things started because people are inherently risk averse and it feels more risky connecting everybody up. But as the consumer protections, the regulatory protections, and the technological innovation and maturity cycle hit, we saw people migrating from intranets to the actual internet as we know today. Standardization, a few other things played a role in that. And I think that's also key when you look at blockchain. And one of the things we particularly liked about at least the vision within the Polkadot ecosystem is breaking out of the siloed value. Most enterprises that we deal with don't really care what the blockchain tech is, right? They don't, when you pitch them a commercial solution for some other software product, they don't interrogate what database is being used. The same way they don't care of your means, your transaction engine with blockchain. What they really care about is what is the use case and can I kind of break out of the silo? When you see many of the early use cases of blockchain, the R3 or Hyperledger gained a lot of traction in the early days of enterprise blockchain. Many of those were private permissioned instances and sometimes just instances within one organization. And we're slowly seeing people, even the early movers, move away from that completely private within one organizational structure where blockchain really is little more than an inefficient database to multi-organization, cross-party use cases, and more of a hybrid or even public infrastructure. So interoperability is at the core of what is needed for any of these networks and the real mass adoption of this. So anyway, that's all talking more generally about the enterprise market. What have we at Aventus kind of done specifically? So I want to go into a couple of use cases with you now. I think we've got another 5 minutes or so, and then we'll break for questions. But really, our focus is all about keeping it as simple as possible, focused on the use case, trying to mitigate any of the risk associated with cryptocurrencies or the regulatory landscape, and obviously ultimately adding value. This is in two forms. You drive more revenue for a business, or you make them spend less. You help them cut costs. Right? Every single one of our pitches is focused around that. So let's start with asset tracking. This is a deal that we are doing with Vodafone and with at Heathrow Airport. So we've conducted the first phase of the commercial rollout. And what we're doing is helping track cargo, right? So at any point in time, 5 to 10% of these cargo pods are lost. I'm sure many of you have had a bag lost when you go on holiday, right? The three categories of cargo. There's actual cargo itself, moving around goods, there's baggage, and there's mail. And these all fit in things called ULDs, unit load devices. Now, what we do is we track these ULDs with IoT devices and better kind of infrastructure across the various systems, enhancing the transparency and security of the system. And what we've delivered is an 83 reduction in man hours. This is around some of the document keeping, reduction in loading times, and the really important stat here is a 7% overall reduction in operational expenditure. So we don't even need to focus on the technology with the client. When we go in and we say, we can help you reduce your cost by 7% by using our solution, that's really how you get past the decision maker, where you can prove it, right? This is up to a $1.2 billion cost saving if this technology was rolled out across the entire aviation industry. So really material gain that this technology can achieve, which is very hard to achieve in as cost-effective manner using any other technology. Now, another solution, some of you may be familiar with EnergyWeb. They've got a bunch of great clients, right, including Shell, EDF, Vodafone as well, Volkswagen, a bunch, right? And their key product is looking at how you can better balance the load across the energy grid. Energy grid is inherently a centralized infrastructure, typically set up by governments. Now we have electric vehicles that can read and write power from that energy grid. How do you best balance the energy around that system? So they've done some amazing pioneering work in that space. We support them with the fundamental Web3 technology. So we're doing everything from the blockchain side of things to supporting their token, their interoperability, the infrastructure APIs and whatnot around that, so that they can focus on what they do best, which is delivering energy solutions, whilst we take care of the more generic Web3 side of things. Then we have maybe some of the sexier use cases, the more headline-grabbing use cases, what we call loyalty, which is essentially fan engagement, stickiness, optimizing your lifetime value of your customer, reducing your customer acquisition cost. This is typically in the form of NFTs or digital collectibles. So we have a deal with the rights holders to the Wolf of Wall Street film. We're now launching, this year will be the 10-year anniversary in December, and we are launching the Wolf of Wall Street experience with the inventory rights holders. So they have a bunch of memorabilia, 200 hours worth of footage, and a bunch of new derivative works that are being created around metaverse and different governance and token incentives that will all be part of that experience, building up to the 10-year anniversary and then the celebration beyond that. So I believe this is actually one that will be releasing this week. So you got a little bit of an early hint at what's coming, but we're quite excited about that one. We have a bunch of different clients in this category as well, right? There's, I think I've got one more here. In the music industry, this is particularly relevant. So Beatport is probably the biggest in electronic music globally, 45 million users, 100,000 different artist labels, and they are launching their digital Web3 strategy. So we're all the technology underneath that. We've tried to help them with some feedback on any of the strategy elements too, but the real focus is taking care of all of the Web3 elements around their marketplace, around their collectible and their customer acquisition strategy, and enabling them to focus on what they do best. So again, this is another one that you'll see some big press around this week. So we're excited for that one too. I've got a bunch more we can talk to, but I think we're kind of running a little short on time here. So let me wrap there and open for any questions.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Alan. That was amazing. I have to say, I learned a lot about Aventus. And now I have a community question from Jack that is asking on Telegram about what kind of business is Aventus, and can you describe as it to be a platform or dev shop?
Yeah, for sure. So Aventus is very much we're a product-focused business, right? We've invested $30 million into building out the product suite that is Aventus. So it's general purpose and reusable. So in some instances, we call it infrastructure as a service. In some instances, it's more platform as a service. But we have a recurring technology product relationship with the business. We don't do any bespoke developments as kind of dev shop.
Perfect. And now for closing the space, what are for you the 3 main points of Aventus?
So the 3 main points when I describe Aventus, well, look, it's all about onboarding enterprises to Web3. How we break that down is focus on the use case. Use case first, where can we add value? Where can we kind of drive either more revenue or operational efficiency? And the last point, again, is just around mitigating risk. It's maybe some of the more boring things, but how can we implement the processes, have the right people in place so that our enterprise SLAs hold up and our products don't fall over?
That's amazing. So thank you so much, Alan, for being with us today. If you want, you can close the space with anyone you want to say to our listeners.
I think that's it. If anybody's interested in learning more, please check out our Twitter. It's Aventus Network. Yeah, everything will go from there. So thanks for having me, Adrian, and good chatting to everyone.
Thank you so much. So and goodbye. See you soon there in the parent salon or something like that. So now we are going to jump into our next interview in the week 7. We are going to jump into William from SORA Ecosystem. How are you, William? Hope you can listen to me. You are muted now. Perfect. Now.
There we are. Hello, can you
hear me? Hello. Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah, you can. Perfect. So welcome to the site, William. How are you?
Great. I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Perfect. Now, spectating of SORA, what you have bring here. I'm an active member in SORA community, so I want to see your presentation and what you're going to talk to our listeners. So if you want, you can start sharing your screen.
For sure. Yes. Can everyone see my screen?
Yeah, there we go, William. So
nice.
Perfect. So thank you so much, William, for being with us. Now I'm going to disappear and the stage is totally yours.
Awesome. Thank you very much. So yeah, hi, everyone. Hope you're doing well so far in the week. It's going to be a bit difficult following up with these great presentations that were just given, so I'll do my best. So, right, we're going to talk about what SORA is. So SORA can be defined as a decentralized central bank. So it is a platform for the exchange and creation of value. So it is also a decentralized autonomous economy or central bank. It is a democratic, decentralized...
William, sorry for the interruption. Just it's because your camera is like frozen. It's... Yeah.
Okay, right.
Now, perfect. Sorry for the interruption. And
no worries. The important part is the presentation anyway. So let's focus on that, I guess. Right. So as I was saying, it is a democratic, decentralized online community. So then all of the decisions that are made in terms of the network are voted on by the community, and everyone has a voice, and we thrive for everyone to be heard in the terms of exploring the capacity of cryptocurrencies to serve a productive economy. So this is based on the research of Irving Fisher, Professor Richard Werner, Osamu Shimomura, Kenneth Kunihara, the Yamaguchi, Yoke and Kaoru, as well as our founder of Soramitsu, Makoto Takemiya. The key components in SORA are the ZOR token and the SORA mobile app that is available on iPhone and Android. And the additional tokens serve as governance or as incentive functions. So to summarize what I mentioned earlier, SORA is a monetary system for all of humanity. with democratic oversight by all participants in the system. So some of the features that set SORA apart from other ecosystems and other DAOs is it's linked to the real economy. So then entrepreneurs and creators would propose goods and services to the SORA parliament, and then they would vote to allocate tokens for these productive purposes. It's also linked to participatory democracy. So the upcoming SORA parliament will be chosen from a body of SORA citizens using the multi-body sortition, which basically means that there are different sectors or different sections in the governance that will be used to come up with one choice. So it's not like relaying your votes to someone else, but rather having different voices heard so that once they're all in consensus, then a decision can be made. The sophisticated tokenomics of SORA are also something very interesting. We have the token bonding curve, which responds to the elasticity of demand in the market. And it's also linked to DeFi. So projects on the SORA network can be proposed as RFPs from any member of the community. And this also opens up additional paths to decentralized development. Right, so numbers so far. I don't think this is pretty up to date, but so far we have over 9 million transactions. And here it mentions that there are 11.3 million blocks so far. Yes, 11.5 million blocks at the moment. So it's pretty close. Then, yeah, I'll talk to you about PokerSwap now, representing. So PokerSwap is the DEX for the interoperable future. It is the DEX of the SORA network and also the hub of the economic system. So you have everything from a bridge to external networks. You have the liquidity source for different tokens, including the token bonding curve. And there are lots of very interesting features that are available. You can also find it on your mobile app. As part of the SORA wallet, and soon on Fearless. So yes, PokerSwap is a next-gen cross-chain liquidity aggregator DEX. That means that it is similar in practice to a sort of Uniswap, where everyone contributes their liquidity to pools, and then people whose pools are used for swaps then get some rewards. So it enables trading against multiple liquidity sources and soon exchanges under a liquidity aggregation algorithm. It also enables SORA-based tokens to be traded on, Ethereum-based tokens to be traded on the SORA network in a non-custodial manner, as there is a bridge to Ethereum network, Ethereum mainnet, and soon to other networks. And then something very interesting as well, SORA synthetics or XST tokens are synthetic assets pegged to an index value and backed by ZOR. At the moment, we have XST USD that is live, and the SORA synthetics platform with over 30 different assets, including RWAs, is coming very soon. So why use PokerSwap, right? There's so many DEXs around there, but what makes PokerSwap special? Well, it offers smart liquidity routing, so it will automatically search and source the best pool for your exchange. The Hashi bridge, which will allow you to get resources in and out Ethereum mainnet first, and then soon to other EVM networks, as well as to Substrate. Then using the SORA network for trades result in faster and cheaper transactions. So if any of you can recall what making a swap in Ethereum costs and the time it takes, unfortunately, it is very long and it is not convenient and not great, whereas doing it in the SORA network results in really fast trades. Transaction price for a swap is, I think, 7 cents. And yeah, by the time you've refreshed your screen, your swap is already complete or your transfer is already done, which is pretty sweet when you think about the legacy technologies or the networks that have a bigger market share, but their infrastructure is not really great in practice. So yeah, the unique liquidity infrastructure of PokerSwap reduces the risks of impermanent loss and less pair fragmentation. Additionally, you also have pairs that you can make with XST USD, so this further reduces the risk of impermanent loss. And because it's an open source project, then adding more liquidity sources as a community will be possible by developing within the PokerSwap module. And as I mentioned earlier, the RFP program allows for decentralized development of PokerSwap features and SORA features also. So moving on to SORA builders, the last point I mentioned about being able to contribute to the code as it's open source. Contribute to the code as it's open source is pretty unique in the sense that this really pushes the SORA network toward the more decentralized spectrum of the overall decentralization kind of gauge. So this is something that's pretty innovative. Anyone can access the SORA repo, and then within there find the RFP section and open an RFP by answering a few questions. In terms of SORA builders, people can join through the SORA builders chat, which has a form for you to then participate in the SORA builders program. So this is a program that is incentivizing users to build or port their dApps to the SORA network so as to increase more the amount of apps that are available, and hopefully eventually increase the amount of users on the network too. The next point is SORA card, which we are patiently waiting for. There's a lot of information available on Medium on SORA card, and if anyone has any questions, now would be the best time to ask it. I think we've spoken a lot about the different features that will be available, and the community, as well as us, are waiting to have the card in our hands. So the SORA card is an integrated self-custodial DeFi wallet and a fiat wallet in one app. So you have all the convenience of the different cryptocurrencies and all of the features that you would find in a fiat wallet, all in the palm of your hands. And it is aiming to provide a premium fiat gateway for the Polkadot ecosystem. So different tokens from different projects you'll be able to put into your PokerSwap wallet or into your SORA wallet, and then from there you can swap them for fiat and then use them with your SORA card. So it's yes, pretty promising and actually pretty cool when you think about a lot of these services that have crypto cards are tied to centralized exchanges, whereas the SORA card is tied to PokerSwap, which is fully decentralized and self-custodial. Right, so this was the presentation of SORA, the many worlds. So if you guys have any questions now, yeah, I'm happy to answer.
Perfect. Thank you so much, William, for your presentation. We have some questions here. We have, first of all, where do you see SORA in 2 or 3 years, William?
Yes. Could we share the screen, please? I think this is actually really relevant to answer the question.
We have it here. Perfect.
Yes, amazing. So I think this is a pretty good answer to where I see SORA in the upcoming years. I think the SORA network as the liquidity hub of many different chains, different ecosystems, and of course being a part of Polkadot and KUSAMA. So yeah, I see it as the one-stop shop for people to have all of their DeFi operations on, with all of the different aspects or different features that the SORA network has and will have. And yeah, I also see it as a key player in helping bring blockchain technology to the mainstream.
Perfect. Now, as we love to make you this question, William, can you describe SORA in just few words, William?
Yeah, I think SORA is the future of money. I think money will aim to be like what we do in SORA.
That's perfect. So now to close the space, anything you want to say to our listeners, William, to conclude the presentation? It was amazing.
Yes, I would like to thank you for your attention. Thank you very much for following the development of SORA. I hope that you look forward to the SORA summer and the new features that are coming along with it. If you have any questions, you can always ask us in our chats. If there are questions related to price, then ask in SORA Trade. And yeah, stay fearless, I think.
Stay fearless. So see you in the Spanish talk about SORA also, and the
Yes.
Spanish day, William.
Definitely. Nos vemos el viernes.
Nos vemos el viernes. So thank you so much for being with us. And now we are going to jump into our next interview of the day, the last one of this amazing day. Welcome to the States, Kivial. How are you? Welcome to KUSAMA Kingdom.
Hey, yeah, I'm great. Thanks so much for having me. Pleasure to be here. Super excited to
That's amazing.
talk to everyone about KUSAMA Kingdom.
Yeah, that's a great NFT ecosystem in KUSAMA and Polkadot. So if you want, you can start sharing your screen, and our team will display it on the event.
Yeah, let me work out how to do it.
Yeah, there's a button share.
Yeah, just try find Chrome tab, select window.
Perfect.
Hopefully
There we go. There we go.
Let me present.
Yeah, you're presenting the Chrome, I think.
Is that working?
Yeah, I think that yeah, we have your screen on the event. I think, yeah.
Cool.
Maybe you can, or the one that is displayed is the event platform. So for you to know.
Can you just see the KUSAMA Kingdom title page at the moment? It's full screen.
No. Maybe redo the presentation. Perfect. So I'm going to hide this. Perfect.
Is it?
Yeah, we are seeing the event. So maybe it's you have to select another window.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Don't worry.
Let me try again. One sec. Share window. I don't know why it doesn't let me up. It only lets me share internet tabs, it seems.
Yeah, no, don't worry. By the way, it's a pleasure to have KUSAMA Kingdom with us today.
Cool. Let me try open it in Sheets.
Yeah, maybe open it in another browser or in the main screen.
One sec. Fine.
Perfect. So
bear with us, guys. It won't be long.
sorry.
Oh, God. Hopefully the formatting stays the same when I upload it to Sheets. I think I can share it if I have it in Google Sheets versus my desktop PowerPoint.
Yeah, maybe in your desktop or something like that you can, or if you want to send to me, maybe I can put it down here.
So okay, yeah, maybe if I send you the PowerPoint, that would be, because it's not letting me.
So send me in Google and that's it. Don't worry.
Cool. I've sent you the PowerPoint on Discord. Is that best?
Okay. Opening it. Can you share me in Google, please? It would be easy. For the
the issue is it's a PowerPoint. So if I lose the formatting if I upload it to Google Sheets, but we can work with it. It would just be the formatting may just be a bit off.
Yeah, don't worry. Let me download it here.
Let me just edit it quickly.
Perfect. It's better for our listeners, so don't worry. You will have the 20 minutes. This is just
the green room time for everyone to see.
Yeah, And if you have any type of problem, if you want, we can make it tomorrow. There is no problem. So.
Okay, this should.
There you go. Or if you want to make it like only voice, you can.
It's all good. I think we can do it. It's just I'll just have to caveat the font should be different in the presentation, but I think I've got it. Let me try.
Okay, perfect.
I just won't be able to have the Kusama Kingdom font.
Okay, I think that yeah now perfect. So,
okay, we got it.
Yeah, welcome to the States, KBL. The city is totally yours.
Perfect. Thanks, guys. Hi, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. So I'm going to be presenting on Kusama Kingdom. Hopefully some people have heard of it, and if you haven't, I guess even better. And now's a chance to learn a bit about where we started, what we're doing, where we're going. We're pretty proud of the fact that we're still here. I mean, almost now 2 years after starting this, and have been obviously through a bear market, through an NFT real bear market. But we're still there every day, working, grinding as a community to try and deliver value and try and grow this. So here we go. Oh, caveat with the fact, I just had to upload this to Sheets from PowerPoint. So the font was all nice and Kusama Kingdom font like you saw on the first page, but it hasn't formatted. So forgive me and just imagine that all the font is nice. So yeah, so the origin story. So when did the Kusama Kingdom start? It started in October 2021, and this was kind of born out of me as an investor. Like a lot of people start out in crypto trying to invest in NFTs and finding it pretty hard, to be honest, especially in like the Kusama Polkadot ecosystem. I found Singular almost impossible to navigate. There wasn't very many clear like rarity traits like you'd seen on OpenSea, and also not many reliable release schedules, right? Like as an investor, demand and supply is very important. And the supply element of it was pretty opaque, and a lot of huge collections being minted slowly. So it wasn't clear to me how to invest in them. So I thought maybe I could create one of these. And I wanted to create value through like the financial aspect of it, given like I was previously in TradFi. So that's how I kind of view things. So I kind of went in it with that mindset, and I was actually on holiday with my girlfriend and saw a picture in this church that looked like could be a good NFT, kind of a king-like figure. I sent it to my cousin Rachel, who's the artist. It's the two of us in the team. And she whipped up a draft, and within 2 weeks we came up with a plan and kind of launched. And what I'd always kind of had in my head was that I wanted it to be like a decentralized venture capital sort of product. I was lucky enough to get into like a seed round back in like the middle of 2021, and that suddenly dawned on me like this is how you actually make money in crypto. Get in these seed rounds, they launch, you sell some, and then some of these things 50 to 100x. But as a retail investor, it was very hard to get into those, if not impossible. So I thought by creating a brand and a community that you could approach these projects with, then maybe you'd be able to get into these seed rounds, you raise funds as a community, and then everyone profits. That was kind of like the thinking in my back of my head, but we didn't initially market as that. We were originally marketing as just like great pieces of art, reliable supply. And this is at a time, right, when demand was super high for NFTs, and we're minting out fast and sniping and all this sort of stuff. You can see on the picture here, that was the first week of Kings. And we decided to auction them live on Twitter, which was relatively new concept versus just like listing or having a mass mint. So we auctioned them one by one, and the community decided how much they cost. And we were just super lucky with the people who bought them originally and joined the community and helped grow it. It was amazing, and it obviously started small and grew out, and those people became our best marketers, because it's very well and good me going around telling everyone to buy them, but obviously why would anyone listen to me as the creator? So having other people do that really helped this collection come alive. So in the next slide, so what are the collections? So again, remember the font should be better. But so the collections are, we have the Kusama Kings. That's how we initially started. 110 Kings, 60 limited Kings, 25 rare Kings, 15 ultra rare Kings, and 10 legendary Kings, 110 total. And we auctioned those over, I think, about 6 months, right? Which kind of created a good dynamic in terms of a lot of NFT projects. You have this 1 mint date, the founders, the creators get all of that income in one day, and then they are expected to maintain engagement and deliver, even though they've kind of had their payday. But by doing them one by one over 6 months, we were always incentivized to keep thinking of new things and delivering and coming up with stuff. And we can get onto the sort of utility stuff that we did over time in a bit. So after the Kings, we also did the Queens, because 110 is a pretty small community, especially over people holding multiple ones. So we wanted to grow it out, but obviously there was always the issue of dilution. But we thought 220, and then we close the collection forever in terms of the sort of utilities they get. And the Queens had their own distinct utility versus the Kings, to separate that out. And then we have these little guys in the middle, the babies. So these, basically, if you owned a king and a queen, there's 50 babies. So you could go get them married, get a ring, burn the ring, and then Rachel, the artist, would do a custom baby based on the genetics of the king and queen. So you can see this one here is a bull. I think it's a mix. Well, no, I know it's a mix between bear king and bull queen, which is pretty apt. And then, yeah, so in terms of like numbers on these things, so we were lucky enough to become like the #1 community collection on Singular, on RMRK1 with the Kings. I think just Dino was higher than us. I'm not sure what they are doing now, but yeah. And then on RMRK2, the Queens are the 3rd highest grossing NFT, only behind the 2 Canaria collections. So like total volume of primary, secondary sales across the 2 collections is over 10,000 KSM. So that is actually higher than Dino. So we are super proud of that. And we feel a responsibility to our holders to bring back utility, bring back value, and make good on their investment. That's why we're still here working on it, have an active community every day. So also, that like a couple of fun collections actually that we did as well was the Legend of the Lost Swords and the Mystery of the Cursed Frog. So you could obtain these from having one of each rarity king or one of each rarity frog. And if you're the first to do it, you'd get the legendary king or queen's sword or frog. And these have their own certain utility, which I'll get onto later. So utility. So this is like obviously the big buzzword that everyone talks about in a collection, and it's super hard, I think, for a lot of collections to deliver on this and for it to be consistent and sustainable. So the way we attacked it is we had the Great Hall, which is like a private Discord where, there's channel. It started as one channel, and now I think there's about 80 channels, and this covers all ecosystems. It covers things outside of crypto. It covers conspiracy theories, everything. But the most important thing, and at the heart of what we do, is basically like an investment DAO. We're very focused on investments, and we have people from multiple ecosystems who are experts in different fields, whether that's Bitcoin, Cosmos, Avalanche, Arbitrum. We've managed to get a really good mix in there. So although we're called like the Kusama Kingdom, we're very much chain agnostic. So we like to invest in anything and everything where we think there's an opportunity. So if you're investment minded, it's definitely somewhere where you'll probably enjoy. And then Kingspad. So this kind of what I touched on earlier in terms of trying to create this decentralized VC. So through my primary job, I work at a venture capital firm called Silvermine Capital. So one of the main pillars of my job is to speak to different ecosystems and obtain seed rounds for funds. So through that, I'm able to procure deals for king and queen holders where they can put in their own capital and get access to certain deals that retail wouldn't. Even this year, we've provided our community with deals in the Avalanche ecosystem, the Ethereum ecosystem, the Polkadot ecosystem, and the Cosmos ecosystem. So very much chain agnostic, taking opportunities where they can. And this is only growing with new members coming in from different ecosystems and as the brand grows over time. So the other 2 things which are quite cool is the King's Bounty and the Queen's Jewels. Now, these are community managed venture funds. Well, King's Bounty Venture Fund, Queen's Jewels DeFi Fund, where the capital is a community pool of started as 110,000 each, and they've been managed for the last 18 months of elected council members, and they pick investment decisions based on the seed rounds we get in, or whether it's just like investing in Ethereum or Bitcoin or whatever, with a very long-term focus to grow this over time. And then every quarter being voted on the profits to go and be distributed to the holders. So King's Bounty, very much VC seed round focused. Queen's Jewels, we run DeFi strategies across crypto in order to have more reliable yield returns. So there's two different flavors there you can see. So like if you're more venture bound and higher risk, maybe King's Bounty, yield generation, Queen's Jewels. But both Kings and Queens can enter the King's Pads deals. It's just, I'll get onto the rebrand of that later. But so everyone has access to the deals, but then there's different community funds. And then the World Tour. So yeah, the World Tour is something that we kind of coined back in the bull market. And this will expand when we get into another bull market. But at the moment, it's very much centered around our King's Day, which you can see here. We've done this now 2 years in a row. So any holder can come with a +1 or +2. And we get a boat in Amsterdam for King's Day. And it's an amazing time, like to connect with these people who you speak to all year pretty much, and just to get out to Amsterdam and just have a few beers and have a good time. It's really special. So this for us is really important. Like you can't really beat in real life and connecting and bonding. So this is another awesome part. And obviously like Amsterdam isn't that accessible for everyone. So we do more local meetups if we're ever at conferences like ETH Denver and things like this. So we all try and meet up as soon as we can. But there's been some great friendships forged. So this has been another amazing part. And then in terms of the future, so again, this font should be better for Kingdom Ventures. But essentially, what I've said is basically like we want to become this decentralized venture capital thing moving forward. That's how we become sustainable. Versus a lot of NFT collections that I think obviously founders, creators lose interest, they drop off. Whereas for us, it's a case of like, I'm now just a holder, just like anyone else. So I want to be able to have access to the deals, generate money that way. Like we as an NFT collection don't take a fee off deals or anything like that, but we're enabling it to grow the community fund and give everyone access to deals. And this is where we're going to move eventually and not be called KUSAMA Kingdom, but more Kingdom Ventures, right? So Kingdom Ventures being a venture capital arm. And if you're owning the NFT, you're essentially a limited partner in that venture capital fund. So we'll get a whole new website. We'll move to EVM. So you'll be able to easily connect through, whether that's Moonbeam or Ethereum with your wallet. You'll be able to see what deals are available. You'll be able to enter. So it's a much more easy value proposition. The issue we have now is one, there's a big disconnect with KUSAMA and Singular, unfortunately. So we have to adapt. And that's what we're always looking to do. We don't want to just stay stale. So we're looking to move to EVM, create the Kingdom Ventures brand, and then grow that. And especially into the next bull run, we'll hope to be able to get amazing deals for the holders and everyone get a great return on investment. And then the Royal Raffle is a fun little project we're looking to launch on Astar as a DApp, where there'll be a monthly raffle, so people stake, and then a percentage of the DApp rewards will go to a winner each month, as well as other prizes that we get in, whether that's NFTs or Lamborghinis, who knows, like sky's the limit. But yeah, that's the kind of thing we're thinking about in the future. So a real shift from just being an NFT collection and really turning this into more of a venture fund with the NFT being an LP. We think that's going to make it much more translatable to people from outside the ecosystem, because that's the name of the game, I think, for everyone on these calls and talks over the next 2 days and yesterday, is how do we get more people into this ecosystem? That's our goal anyway, and we just want to do our little part from it, and try and grow it. And I think this is going to be the best way to do it. So yeah, that's our plan. And please join our Discord or follow us at Twitter. Again, apologies for the font. And yeah, please reach out to me. I'm KBL. You can join the Discord. There's still there's areas that are public where you can ask questions, the castle or the Jester's quarters, where our good friend Funky used to reside, but is now a whale. Shout out to Funky. So yeah, please reach out if you want to learn more. We're really excited about where we are and where we're positioned, even after the last, God knows what, like 15 months of a bear market, to still be here, being invited on things like this. We really appreciate it. So yeah, thanks to the team for organizing this, and hope you guys enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you so much, Kibio, for this amazing presentation of KUSAMA Kingdom. I personally love this collection, so it was amazing to hear you today. I have a question here. It's about where do you see KUSAMA Kingdom in 5 years? And where do you see KUSAMA and ecosystem also?
Yeah, in 5 years, like I say, my aim is to kind of abstract this away from being an NFT collection on KUSAMA with Kingdom Ventures, and grow that fund and the opportunities for holders into like 10, 100x, whatever it is. And the beauty of it is we kind of do it as a community, because it's not purely decentralized. I still manage the funds, but we vote on things as a community. People get elected as a community. So it's kind of in the hands of all of us now in terms of where it goes, where the fund grows to. And obviously with us leading and deciding to go down the Kingdom Ventures route and being on EVM, I think that's going to give us the best possible chance to grow it and for people to get access to it and for people to learn more about it. So yeah, the 5-year plan is just grow the fund, grow the opportunities, and just keep going.
That's great. I see Ryan saying, when King Adrian, let's buy one. So yeah, the last question is just for close the space of the week event of today. It's where the 3 main points of the KUSAMA Kingdom. For you, what are the 3 main points, and why do you create the KUSAMA Kingdom?
Yeah, so firstly, I wanted to create, probably selfishly, wanted to create a Discord or private investor club where I could learn off people and people would share knowledge and stuff. So that's worked out great. Like the Great Hall is amazing. We have people like Poker Warrior who share amazing stuff in regards to like stock markets, equities and stuff, as well as obviously all the experts we have in crypto. 2, to obviously offer people deals in crypto projects that you can't get access to as a retail investor. Like that was crucial for me, decentralizing the venture capital market. And thirdly, to just have fun and meet up in real life and go on boats in Amsterdam and make friends. I think that ultimately is an amazing part of it that probably wasn't planned, but has now become something that everyone looks forward to each year.
That's an amazing point, I have to say. So yeah, anything you want to say for closing the space, KBL?
Just it pays to be a king. So hopefully see some of you soon.
So thank you so much for being with us, KUSAMA Kingdom, and goodbye. So now we are going to close this space, this second exciting day of the week event. I think that it was a really exciting way. We hope that you have learned a lot today and that you continue learning the following days of the week event. And I'm Adrian, for sure, from the Coiner Friends team, and we will see you tomorrow with another exciting day. So thank you so much, and see you soon, guys.